Welcome back to the Exchange Place podcast. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Guess who I got in the building, y'all? I got my faves in here. I got, of course, Amber Juice Girl Dixon in the building. And I got Brenda.
Big B and not the little one.
Look, Be Inspired Miss Week here in the building.
Pitter patter.
I love y'all.
I love you.
And I'm so happy that y'all were able to come here. For those of you guys don't know, Brenda has recently relocated.
Ooh, child. She's a
Houston girl.
Houston girl. Houstonian. That's what they say.
Houstonian.
That's a great place to be.
It is.
I ain't
I'm
mad
coming to
at you.
visit.
You have to come and visit.
I am.
I will come and visit.
Yes,
I'm bringing my
please.
Houston body with me too.
Not the Houston body stallion.
Oh, you too.
It's the stallion for me.
So I wanted to, I thought you guys would be perfect to continue the friendship series.
Ooh, that was good, man.
the
A
first-
lot of great feedback on
A
that one.
lot of great feedback. I think people are really at a place that they are evaluating friendships or kind of coming up against challenges. So this one, I thought we'd talk about friendship maintenance.
Okay.
And on so many levels, but I really wanted to talk about how much transition is going on in our friend group.
Okay, right.
And particularly us sitting here, but I do have even, my sister, which Tamara, you guys know Tamara, has recently
Tamara.
relocated to San Diego.
My girl.
Who is like my bestie, my confidant, and one of my pillars, or I always say my 12, kind of like Jesus had 12 disciples, the people that are really close to me. And I'm going to be relocating.
Wow. So happy for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm leaving Jersey, God willing, by June.
Yes.
That's fast.
I know it's fast. And during this process of even knowing that I'm leaving, it's really there's been so many emotions coming up.
Okay.
And how to navigate friendships and what that's going to look like when I'm gone for the people that I really love who are still here. So I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to give the listeners some tools and tips. I wanted to get some tools and tips. That's why we got Brenda in the building, because she already done jumped. Look, she already done jumped shit. But I wanted to start off with, already I'm kind of having the emotions. This week in particularly, I think it's really starting to hit me. I'm going to Georgia next week to look for homes. And it's becoming like a real thing. And Amber's like, Amber almost had me in tears, y'all. I got to just tell y'all.
Because it's becoming real for her too.
It's becoming real.
And guess what? It did not become real until, shout out to my big brother Alwyn, said something to me. And it became real for me in two moments. And this was recently. My brother, I was like, yeah, because Deb is moving or whatever. She's moving to Georgia. He said, oh, man, you gonna miss her. And I was like,
Well, just rub it in my face.
you know what? Because like I tend to not deal with things probably until they're like right there. And a twofold thing that happened is my daughter is turning 18. She's going to college as well.
Wow.
So I'm dealing with two transitional moments. My oldest, of course, since I had her at 18, is leaving me to go to college. One of my closest friends leaving me. But I feel prepared for it. I know that emotionally it's not a sadness. It's like it's a gladness, obviously, because they know I'm cheering for them and I'm rooting for them. But honestly, my relationship with Deb, my relationship with my daughter, they're both so solid, and I feel like the foundation is so strong. I genuinely, and Deb has had a conversation with me like, well, we need to talk about what friendship looks like. First of all, I'm not organized like that, Deb. We're not doing that. Like, it just feels, like for me, if you have my heart, it's not gonna leave you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because and while those are real things, like, because I have to honor that that's how she functions. But for me, it's like, I know that you're just a call away. I know that I'm just a flight away. I know that that's like kind of how our friendship grew. Our friendship didn't like just happen overnight. It was a gradual, strong foundation that was built.
Agreed.
And because of that, I know that our foundation is strong enough to withstand any type of change. Like, you get what I'm saying? And without anybody feeling bad about it,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying? It may be different, it may be uncomfortable, but I call that every day.
Yeah.
Or if I don't call her, I text her every day. It's
So
not
my-
going to be different for
My
me.
concern is not that. So, like, my concern is not, because I felt very similar with my sister leaving, is like, I don't think it hit me that Tamara had left until we went to visit her, and we were leaving. And I was like, she really live here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Like, really established there, because I went too.
yeah, like, she really lives here, and like,
This is her new life.
she's really like going. She travels a lot. Our relationship is, even when she was living in Jersey, you know what I mean? It's,
Right.
we wouldn't see each other all the time. It was just, for me, I think it was the reality of like, really, I can't do the quick, let's go grab something.
Something to
I
eat or
really,
drink.
yeah, or I
Yeah.
really need you today. Let's just hang out. That's the reality. So I always want to do my due diligence, because I love the people that I love, the way that I love them.
Right.
Like, I think we don't have those conversations.
Right.
And I think maybe not even for you, because I'm literally setting up conversations, and I was talking to Brenda about this
Right.
with people who are close to me.
I had to. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I did. Before I moved, like specifically my bestest friends, Rebecca, Janae, Tina, Akira, we had real conversations of like, y'all know, even though like some of them felt like, I don't really feel like this is warranted. We don't really need to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
Kara,
Kara, like,
shout out
you,
to my Pisces.
yeah, like Kara, like, girl, what? Yeah, like,
Right.
we forever locked in. Like, ain't no
Yeah.
switching up.
Ain't
you
no
know?
switching up.
But also, it was just like, dang, like, because I'm not going to be able to see you as often, I'm going to now have to transition into maybe calling more, checking in more, making sure you were good more. You know what I mean? Because transition is hard. Anybody out there, don't know what camera I'm looking at, but anybody out there that's thinking about transitioning, moving, mind you, I moved where I didn't have anybody. I don't know nobody. I didn't know anyone. And the only person that I knew, she lives an hour away, and she is a good friend of mine, but she lives a different type of lifestyle. She has a small child and a teenage child, so she's not able to navigate the way that I navigate. So really, I'm there alone in a sense. However, she does provide great comfort for me, especially like the holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
But in a sense, just navigating, like she can't get up for drinks or oh, you want to go to this open mic? Oh, let's go to this networking event. It doesn't happen like that. So you gotta be comfortable in your solitude.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like transition, we gonna tap more into it, but transition is hard.
Yeah.
I don't but I think that any phase of transition is difficult. But picking up where you are born and this is all you know, and literally going somewhere where you really know nothing about and you know no one, it literally has been one of the hardest things that I ever had to do, and it is still hard as I'm sitting here speaking to y'all.
So how have you been navigating that feeling? Because today I even had a feeling that I was like, and of course I journal. Y'all know I journal. For those of y'all that don't journal, y'all go ahead and do that.
And buy the journal.
Yes, please. Whatever.
Buy the journal coming out.
Look, there will be a journal coming out. But like, I really felt the emotion, and I was like literally asking God like what that feeling is, because it's like a very weird. I'm happy that I'm, you're moving, but there's like it's not really a sadness. If I could, I don't know what to call. I really don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so happy, but part of me,
like,
I
it's
don't
like
know,
mourning.
I think I feel guilty about being happy in certain relationships that I'm leaving. Like I can't, when I figure out
it's
what
how
it
you
is.
show up for people. I think that's probably the biggest struggle, and especially knowing both of your personalities on a personal level. You take care of people, like, you know what I'm saying? So you feel responsible in a sense for people, and it's just important for your people on the flip side to understand and know that you don't have to be responsible for us. Like, I know that if I need to call you for something, I know you're gonna help me as much as you can, and it's no different here. Like, if you ask me to take care of something for you, I think it's just letting yourself feel, right? Because yes, you are disconnecting, but because you're responsible for people, it's still not your responsibility for us either. Like, you've served your purpose. Like, you've done everything that you're supposed to do here, and people have to accept that. Like, I look at my daughter. Anybody who knows how my business runs, shout out to Beef and Focus, your local juice company. But like, anybody who knows how my business ran, and when I had a store and I had a juice bar, my kid was 13 years old working in my store. And my business just turned 6 years old this week, right? And shout out to
congratulations.
But my daughter has been by my side through this the whole entire time. And she's the assistant. She's the one who helps. She's the one who makes the best beats, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I respect it enough. Like, we've had our talks, like, Kayla, what am I going to do when you leave?
But she has her own goals,
she
dreams,
has her
aspirations.
Own, yes, and I respect it. We did come to a mutual agreement because I run my business different, because I've taken time. Like, even I always felt responsible for people in my business, where I've had to say, you know what? I gotta give my kids back me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I value being around my children. So I have been very intentional the past 2 years, making sure I'm spending more time with them, being there for them. The only thing I asked my daughter, because she's going to school away, but she'll still be close enough to home. I said, can you just give me like 1 or 2 weekends out the month or whatever? I'll pay you, do whatever I need to do. But you are not obligated. But I would appreciate if you could. She said, "Mommy, I will help you like that." Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's those. I think
that's those are the conversations,
right? Because we are having real conversations, so that there is an expectation. And I'm sure she said it too. Like, I asked her, but she wasn't like, pushy or whatever. She was just like, "Mom, well, I'm not gonna have any money, so I might need you to up my pay." We had a real conversation about it, and what Beef and Focus even looks like without her being there, because she knows I'm very like protective of my baby. But also, I think when people leave, it's supposed to stretch us, the other people that are impacted by it, a different way. Like, maybe now I need to start getting the help that I need. I need to start
looking into hiring, and
you have to be, I think, on your end. I'm not trying to speak for you too, but I'm just speaking as a person who is not losing like my friend. I've never dealt with a friend moving away in my whole life, and I'm 36 years old. But like, speaking from a friend who is leaving, like, I'm letting you know, like, you're good. Like, you don't have to be responsible for me. I'm gonna figure it out.
So here's the thing. I don't feel like I feel responsible. Mm-hmm. I just feel like in this amazing move that I'm making, mm-hmm, I want people that I love to come along as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want them
everybody's
to be
not
able,
gonna go.
I know that, and I know that. Like, in theory, I know that. But I feel like it's almost like, and I'm trying to explain that.
You may set the stage up for someone to take the brave move, though. Yeah. But even if it's not by you, close enough to you. Because I always say, like, I don't want to go to Georgia, but I would be cool with North Carolina. Yeah. I'll be cool with D.C. I'll be cool with, like, those type of areas. So it's, not Georgia, but it's close enough to take a drive for a few hours, and I'll see you, sis. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's a weird emotion. It really is. And it's a real one that's just, like I was telling you, has come so fast that I'm still working through it. I'm okay with working through it, but I'm still like, okay, what are you feeling right now? You're feeling, and
you're going to be working through it. You might be working through it for a long time. Like, so I'm about to be 6 months.
Okay, I was going to say how long you've been
gone. But I also have been traveling back and forth due to my work. So I have been able to get like a dose of, but the longest I was away was 4 months, and you're going to go through an emotion of feeling like, did you make the right choice? You are going to go through emotion of feeling lonely. Like, I'm talking about lonely. You got your baby though with you.
Yeah, he's coming.
So, and I'm by myself, like, lonely. You are, like Amber said, like, you are going to be stretched. Like, I was challenged in ways that, and I'm still being challenged in ways that I never thought that I would be challenged. Like, shout out to anybody who has made the move to just jump ship and have the faith to go somewhere where it's just not comfortable. Mind you, everything you built is here. right? So you're going to a place where you feel like you're being disciplined and you're being obedient to whatever God is telling you to do, and you really have to trust the process blindly. And this really is where faith comes too. Because I'm still faith in it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's my middle name.
I went there, right? I've cried, like I still cried. You are going to develop a different type of strength. You are going to be forced to go out and network and meet new people and make new friends and connect with new people. That's why I don't believe in no new friends. How am I supposed to build and grow? I'm very big on relationships. My relationships, the relationships I have cultivated within business and friendships is what actually brought me here. So if I could build what I built here and go somewhere else and build it somewhere else because God told me to, that is what he has given me to do. You really have to trust the process, but the process is not pretty. Like, the process is not pretty at all, and I'm not here to sugarcoat it, and I'm sure that anybody out here who has made the leap, you know what I mean, like where you're fine. My finances is tied to the tri-state area, you know what I mean. My foundation is tied to the tri-state area, but God said that I'm tying you to other places. You know, like,
expanding your territory.
That's literally what I heard. I'm expanding your
That's what
territory.
I keep on hearing, and I'm just like, okay, Lord.
So just understand, you're going to go through so many different emotions, and you know they're going to flip flop. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days, but I just want to encourage you to trust the process, because what I will say is that yes, moving to Houston has been difficult, but it feels so right. It's hard. Like, I be thinking like, oh my God, if I could just pick up the people that I love and the things that I have and the contracts that I have and sit right here in Houston, I'll be good. But no, I'm good. I'm good now. Like, you know, like, it never looks like what we think it should look like. It always looks better. And this transition hasn't looked like what I thought it should look like. So people, you're like, oh, I just want to make sure I hold on tight to those relationships, you know? I literally, I don't even want to call them lost. I want to say God removed people that literally, I'm talking about 10 plus years. I'm talking about people that I was riding with from the beginning of my business. I never thought would leave my side, because when I'm doing things, I always keep other people in mind. I'm always thinking that I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this to bring other people along. I've never been the I person. You know what I mean? I just know that God has given me a gift and talent that has allowed me to kind of bring other people along. But sometimes they're not meant to go with you to the next level that you're not responsible for their growth. I'm not responsible for their growth. But what I also had to learn is, once again, I'm such that nicey nice person. I'm such that loving person. I think that people naturally, intentionally, and genuinely would do or move the same way like I kind of would move, because this is what our relationships has been. And it's been 10 years, right? So, and each of these individuals has been 10 plus years, talking about 3 individuals. So when they didn't move like that, and you think that you have a relationship, my aunt said something to me when everything started, it seemed like it was crumbling. My aunt said something to me. She said, Brenda, you've been a friend to people who have not been a friend to you. But you couldn't see it because you were in it. But now you're seeing they were never your friends. They don't have the heart that you have.
And you fall back, you get a better view.
And when you fall back, you get a better view. And then when I fell back and I looked at everything with the panoramic view, it was like, wow, you know what? They never did reciprocate that. I'm naturally a giver, but they were takers.
Did you guys have like conversations on the expectations of the friendship as you were transitioning?
So these individuals, yes. Like it's so heavy, but yes, like one of the individuals, we had a very deep conversation on what things would look like between us, how things would go, and literally 8 days before my transition, they like just left me. I can't really talk about it now, but I'm gonna do a live on it. Like, y'all come talk, let's talk about it, because I can talk now. But like, they did the unthinkable. That I just never thought that someone would do to me, you know? And then I had another relationship who, he was there during the beginning of stages. He was a great friend. He has an amazing platform. I'm talking about, he's low-key famous. You know, I'm not going to say his name or whatever. But he knew I was moving, and we always had this, what I felt like was a great relationship. I started out with him, and literally like right before I moved, it was just like all of this pushback. And then I had another relationship, which we were like brother and sister, and it was a business partner, and he just did some snake stuff. And it was like,
yeah, I think you needed to see all
I
of
needed to see all
I've
of that.
had that in the past.
But when this individual did what he did to me, the last individual, God gave me so much peace about it, because he said, what he just did to you, I'm gonna give you back 10 times forward. And he already has, and it ain't even been 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even when that one situation, I left with peace.
Yeah.
I knew that situation was over. The other two situations were really abrupt. So I feel like they were a lot more hurtful because they were abrupt. I didn't see them coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think like, and if we talk about friendship maintenance, I think that you're gonna have a time where you have to talk about where you are. You have to assess. I'm always assessing people. And I mean, I don't wait until, yes, I do wait to do with certain things until they present themselves, but mostly like there's been friends that I was close to in a season, then like there's maybe things that I picked up on. I'm like, oh, you kind of like not reliable. You could be a little inconsistent, like things that I know, and I've had to make adjustments. Not announcements, but just adjustments. I think that's what friendship maintenance is. And even sometimes those challenges present where you need to make adjustments, where you need to have like open dialogue, where you need to have these conversations.
But
I just recently went through something like that. I had a relationship with somebody who I considered like my family, and they started the conversation with me very strangely. Like I hadn't talked to them in 3 years. We never had a conversation as to why we stopped speaking. I know why I stopped speaking. And they know why they probably stopped speaking to me. But the conversation started with, yeah, hey, I know you're not talking to me, but I had a dream about you, right? And in that moment, like I always in my head prepared, like, oh, if I ever saw them, I'm going to give them the cold shoulder. I'm going to this, everybody I'm that.
But you already forgiven them.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know about the forgiveness. I don't know, because I haven't assessed the forgiveness yet. That's why it's not like a don't forgive. It's kind of like
you haven't had a conversation.
I haven't addressed it, and that's how I said it to them. Because I think it takes courage to build that muscle and that strength to talk to people about things that are important to you. And when they said that to me, and this person was like family to me, like I've left you in my home around my children. So like, and everybody knows I don't do all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not with everybody, you know? So when she started the conversation like that, I said, hey, you know, I don't want to address your first sentence. I said, because you and I never had a conversation to discuss what that is. But I am open to talk about it whenever you are. But thank you. Dreams are good. Hope you and your family are well. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like, because like at the end, here's the thing, we may never get back to that space, but I have the courage enough to say like, hey, listen, like I'm always assessing, like I'm always kind of seeing like where I am with people. Like, so if I have to make an adjustment, I don't want, because in my past, I've dealt with things in a blow up manner, meaning that I've let you do every single possible thing you could do to me. And now I'm going to lash out on you. Now I'm going to react to you. Now I'm more so like to evaluate like, hey, do I trust this person with this? How do I feel about this? And kind of tell them like right then and there, like not right then and there where how I feel, but just like taking a moment to assess and saying, who's good for this? Who's good for that? How is this type of relationship going to be?
I got a question though in that, because do you think that people actually have those conversations? Like
no,
like
not commonly.
Not to cut you off, but
No.
something in like just everything that you're saying, this is what keeps coming to me. And this is even from my own experience and accountability and hard conversations.
Tough talks, yeah.
So with being in therapy and even like in past relationships, what I have learned, once again, everybody is not you. Everybody has not done the work, the shadow work that you have done. And like my therapist always tells me, you know you're dealing with people who don't go to therapy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so once again, people lack accountability and people do not like having hard conversations.
They don't.
Because I'm like a straight shooter. Like if there's an issue with me and you, I'm like, look, you know I'm coming from a place of love. And I tell people all the time, I'm never going to come from a place of malice. I'm never going to come from a place of hurt. I'm going to always come to you with love because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
but honestly, Brenda, sometimes people aren't even able to truly identify their emotions. Like that's usually, I find that to be the issue.
but
Like,
that's a them problem.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
but do you think
absolutely.
that they don't identify it, or do you think it's avoidance? 'Cause
it's avoidance.
I feel
It's
like,
avoidance.
Too.
I feel
That
like
too.
for me, in
Yeah.
my experience with trying to maintain friends, especially like over a period of time of like evolution and us evolving, what I've seen or encountered is just like avoidance. And I've been on both sides of the coin. I don't want to sit here and make it seem like I have not. There have been times that I've just been like, in my head, I've already written that relationship off. I just don't want to be bothered. And I never have a conversation. And again, this is prior to therapy and all that good stuff. But I do
and
think
you're doing work on yourself.
yeah, I do think people are avoiders. Like I think I've seen it in romantic relationships. I've seen it in platonic
Like
relationships of like, if I don't say anything, hopefully it goes away.
Right.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
And because we love one another, it will just get better.
Nah.
And I think everybody knows that. So for everybody, it does not just get better. If you are having, and I think that's something for the audience to start to think about. If you are having, or you're at this place where you're starting, there's somebody who you love, right? Who's been in your life, and you're changing and evolving, and they don't either seem to be at the same pace or space. I mean, I think at least try to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
What I will agree with both of y'all is that there are going to be some people who are going to be avoiders, not take accountability. They will probably not be able to even receive.
Yeah,
But
I literally had someone tell me that before.
Yeah,
they
but
told me like that
I
I had
do
an
think
issue.
people
this was like
will.
somebody that was like my best friend.
Yeah.
And
they don't comprehend though. Like it's like they don't know how to acknowledge or look themselves in the mirror
no,
to assess.
I don't even know if it was a comprehension thing. It's a courage thing to me. It's a strength thing because in this scenario with this lady, like we were best friends, and they got jealous of a new friendship that I had. And rather than talking to me and say, hey, listen, I know you're friends with this person, but I kind of feel left out, or I kind of feel whatever, they just lashed out on me, accused me of being funny and kind of stuff. So we didn't speak for years. Then they came back into my life, and I tried to have a conversation with them because I knew in my heart and mind, like, I'm not like the pick up where we left off type of
like
person.
in order to move
when
forward.
when there was a negative situation that happened, I can't. Literally I feel disabled. I can't do it.
Right.
I can't do
I
it.
agree.
I can't press forward like that. And she said to me, yeah, I just don't like having awkwardness and uncomfortable conversations. But it's like, no, we have to talk about
adults.
this, because here's the thing. You can do that to me again. And guess what happened? I said this to them, had this conversation with them. I said, yeah, I don't move forward with people. I told them, like, it's very hard for me to move forward with people if we don't discuss what actually happened. Yeah. Months later, they ended up doing something real shady, like, to me. And that was the end. Like, because it's levels to this, right? Because it's like, I know that I have to have a conversation with you. You told me that you're not the type to have a conversation. So in those cases, what do I do? First, you don't have that level of access to me that you ever had in the first place anyway. So now it's a discontinuance.
Now you just remove yourself. Because I can't have a conversation with you. You're not able to receive anything, and you're not able to have open dialogue.
Yeah, but I think we go wrong sometimes too, because I've watched my loved ones do this, where you put these whole scenarios in your head. I'm very guilty of this, where you put all she gonna say this, and this is what she gonna kind of say. And my therapist told me this yesterday. Trust your decisions.
Absolutely.
Trust what you feel, because when you start overthinking and start telling yourself, well, she gonna say this, and I bet she gonna do this, you're fixating your brain to have a resolution that the other person don't even know you thinking about. So we have to just get better. I really feel like that comes from courage. I feel like it comes from courage. Also, to understanding that everybody is not moving at the same pace. My therapist challenged me to go find people who are more intellectually on the same level as me, same chase as me. She said, because what's happening is that you're trying to be around people that you love out of convenience, and it's making you challenged and more frustrated because you can't get across who you are to people like that. Up your ante,
because they're not where you are mentally or emotionally.
You gotta start kind of, and that's the beauty of relocation, that you have a fresh start to actually do that, meeting new people, kind of talking that talk, like, because you feel more like confined to the people that you already know, history, time, love, all of those things. But the beauty of relocation is saying, like, I can go to this new place and I could not be whoever you are, but that is really true to a sense. Like, and you can go find your people.
Go find your tribe. And I will say that, shout out to my Houston tribe, the people that I have met so far, that I have just cultivated great relationships. That's amazing, with. Brenda. I've met a few people. I have a girl named Sabri who I adore. She has her own spa. I know a girl named BB. She has her own catering business. Shout out to my photographer also, Wayne, who at one point he was like one of my male best friends. He actually relocated to Houston. He lives in Houston with his family, you know, and I have a neighbor, his name is Eric. He's a rapper. Like, I've met some really, I met a guy named True who literally, he's really into like stocks and stuff. I don't know. I met him through Eric. Like, so I've met some wonderful, like, I met a girl named Earl that's a poet, and she's amazing, and her heart is beautiful. You're finding your tribe. Like, so wherever you go, as long as you have that intent, you will find your tribe. So when you go, you will find your tribe. And the beautiful thing about relocating, you know, no, you can't just stay in a house. You know what I mean? No, you can't. You can't just, you know, sit there and think that things are going to come to you. Just like you're here and you went out and created this beautiful space, you have to go out and you got to get it, and you got to create it there too. Because more than you know it, they're waiting for you.
And think about how we all met. It started from me randomly saying, hey, I want to go on a hike.
And I lived all the way in South Jersey.
Like, I was like, I want to go on a hike. And I didn't have, like, because I know my friends. Like, some of my friends are not into fitness. Like, I like working out and eating healthy, all that stuff. And I just posted it randomly. And I'm kind of funny about stuff like that already, because I know my people. I pick people. I'm a people picker. I am. And I put it randomly, and beautiful people were being sent my way. I said, okay, boom, and we're going to put together a hike. And just even Brittany and I, we knew each other business-wise or whatever, but that cultivated a deeper friendship even between her and I. Like, and it opened up the door for nice women who did not know each other, and everybody built sectors of relationships. And Deb is better than me when it pertains to how we all love each other too. Because sometimes I'm just like so wrapped up in my world, I forget to reach out to people. It's never personal. But we show love to each other on social media. We got like
when we pop out, we already know.
And I'm always recommending your businesses, always recommending podcasts, whatever I have to do. But sometimes it may not come to me consciously. So it's like also too, like when it comes to friendship maintenance, making sure people around you understand your functioning too. Like, and it's not personal. It's just like right now, I'm telling y'all. People know every weekend I was wrapped up into my business. I have been loving on my children, man, because I feel like I was building my business and watching them grow up so fast. I feel like I missed time with them. But and now they can't get enough of me. Like, and I love them. Like, I love being home. I love being chill. I love this new space I'm in. I got divorced 2 years ago. Like, I am like happy. Like, I'm happy for all my new foundations and what that looks like to other people. You know?
So I got a question. As we start to wrap up, and I guess what advice or tools or tips? I'm gonna start with you, Brenda, first, because you've already relocated, and I want your perspective, but from a different angle. But what, from somebody who's already relocated, but has to maintain relationships here, whether it's all the way 2 hours from where you actually live, which is where she is, and we thank God for her for
I live 2 hours from this
place, right? Or used to live. But what would you say to someone who is either transitioning or trying to maintain relationships that may not be close, like what do you think is the best thing that they can start with?
So for me personally, even before I went on this journey, and this started years ago, if I'm the only one that's reaching out, I'm not reaching out.
Oh.
You know what I mean? In this space, at this grown age, okay, relationships have to be reciprocal.
Yeah, reciprocity.
Because me personally, and I can speak for the givers out there, I'm naturally a giver. And sometimes when you're a giver, people will just naturally take.
Yeah.
Because
Takers never get tired of taking.
takers never get tired of taking.
Never.
But you can't pour from an empty cup. So the first thing is, make sure that your relationships are not just one-sided. I have beautiful friendships and relationships, and I am so grateful for them. I thank God for them. They keep me afloat. So that's the one thing, because you're already going to be going through so much when it comes to anxiety, stress. You might get a bout of depression. You know, you're gonna doubt things. You're gonna wonder if you made the right move. Like I said, you're gonna feel alone. You're gonna have all of these emotions. You need people who's going to have your back and know to check up on you, because this is a transitional space in your life.
Even when you can't reciprocate
Even when you can't reciprocate it at the time, but at some point you've reciprocated it, right?
Yeah.
Because the relationships are like balance, but you're not always going to get 100. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you have people in your corner that's going to be checking up on you. You don't want to be dragging people along with you to another state that you feel like you always got to reach out to, that you always got to check up on. Because in this season, you going to need your tribe. I don't have, like, my friends call me regularly, okay? They stalkers at this point. You good? You need anything? You know, I have, so just cultivating that community. So that's the one thing, just having relationships before you leave, what you know are reciprocal. If you find yourself holding on to like a friendship or a relationship where you feel like, dang, I'm always the one reaching out, or I'm always the one trying to make plans, or I'm always the one, you're not going to be able to maintain that from hours and hours away. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then there's a lot of emotion with it. So grieve that now.
Okay.
Let that go now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really, it's the corny and cliche saying, but everybody cannot go. And when I tell you, my heart was broken with those 3 relationships. I think I never went through, and I'm still grieving, I never grieved the way that I grieved with that, because it was back to back to back. And these are people that I held near and near and dear to my heart. And it actually was 4 individuals, but that ain't the last one is just, it's stupid. It's so stupid and
Bye-bye
petty.
now.
Yeah, it's just like so stupid and petty. And I just feel like, once again, what I also learned is, once again, I was dealing with people who don't go to therapy. I was also dealing with people, like, first of all, just like God don't bless no mess. Like, you cannot use God to do something wrong to somebody else. Like, that's the craziest thing ever to me. You know what I mean? Because when you wrong, you wrong.
Yeah.
So just letting people go is and understanding that everybody is not going to go, even the people that you think is just going to be in all of those seasons of winning, because they've been there up until their point. God shows people, show them who you are. When I say, like, it was laid out in front of me clear as day, these are not your people. You need to let go. You need to move on. So make sure that whatever relationships that you are holding on to, that they are reciprocal. You cannot carry other people into this season. It's not your job. Like Am said in the beginning, it's not your job to take care of other people. And before we end this, I would even say, for me, I had guilt as well. I had guilt about leaving my niece. I had guilt about, like, right before me and my aunt, who took custody of me, had a fight, like a big fight about me moving initially. She said I was selfish. She called me all of these things, because at the time my mother was sick. It's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But and I was just like, but all of my sisters and brothers moved away. They live in Atlanta, they gone. I've been here. I've been taking care of things. I've been helping with things. Like, why can't I go live my life?
I'm glad that you did.
And
I'm glad you chose you.
I chose me.
Yeah.
I don't know if we curse, but what you say to Carl, I flex with me. That's for me, okay? That's for me. Like, and at this stage in my life, I'm proud of me. Like, I
am. I'm proud of you,
I'm
too.
proud of you.
Houston is home, y'all. Like, don't get me wrong, Jersey's always going to be home, but Houston is home, and I feel like I belong there.
Yeah.
Good.
And I feel like God is about to show out. I don't know what he about to do,
he is.
but he already showing out.
I'm
just saying.
He already showing out.
But
yeah. So just can you share, I guess, from the person that, I don't want to say it like this, but the person that's left behind when somebody leaves, like what would you say for someone who may have a very close friend who is transitioning, relocating? Because I don't just think it's relocation, just transitioning.
I think because of who I am, I mean, I can only speak for how I am. I'm a cheerleader. I'm a supportive friend. It doesn't matter like what you do, because at the end, probably most of the way I treat people comes from how I want to be treated. And that, like Brenda said, the cliche where it sounds so cliche, but it's true. Like, and I know people say, oh, you can't expect everybody to be you, but I have expectations for my friends. Have expectations for your life. Have expectations for the people that you love. Hold me accountable. If you even feel, my friends can tell me things. Like, they could be like, yo, I feel like I haven't heard from you. And I'm not going to take that personal. It may be the little push I need, because I'm also going through a lot of different transitions myself.
And you're human.
And I'm human, but I would say a person, I guess, that is where my friends are moving on or they're making different decisions. I'm supportive. I'm not a seasonal friend, and I said that in the last conversation that we have. I need lifers. I need people I could do life with. Amen. I don't just want to just be like, oh, you're my friend in this season because we're single. You're my friend in this season because we're married. And those type of things have hurt me, because I've had friends that I was cool with just because we were in relationships at the time, or we were single at the time, and now we don't have anything in common. Like, I make sure that I have enough commonalities. I need multifaceted people. So if you're multifaceted enough, we're gonna be good. Like, you get what I'm saying? Deb could go off and get married. That's fine. I'm gonna have I told Deb when she leave, I'm getting my husband, apparently.
Yeah. I wanted to say, I thank you. Mm-hmm. I love y'all.
Love you.
And I know that y'all know that. And when I get my home in Georgia,
I was
about to say, you already know you are welcome to come. Mm-hmm. And you all know that everybody can't come home.
Everybody do not go to that house. No, y'all done heard me say that on a few podcasts.
Cannot come home. Mm-hmm. But I love y'all.
Love you.
And I thank you for driving up the 2 hours.
Absolutely.
And I'm just grateful. I feel like for what you said, I think the emotion is that I have really solid relationships. And I love the people that I love, and I have prayed people into my life. So it feels different, moving. It definitely does. And it feels a little uncomfortable. And I'm not necessarily worried about the maintenance of the relationship, but I am, I'm having
what it looks like. What does it
look like? And I'm having, if you and me are close, we having a conversation.
And that's coming your way.
But in order,
coming on the tour near you.
Already on the tour.
I'll tell you what I feel like God told me when I was struggling about choosing to move. And I know you already made your decision, but just like in the beginning, Amber said, like you created your foundation here. Like, in order for you to grow, you have to go. Yeah. Like, you got your tribe here. Mm-hmm. There's another tribe, and that's what I had to learn is like somebody in Houston is waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
My husband better be in one of y'all towns.
Well, that's it.
I just realized my husband is not in New Jersey. Yeah. I just came to terms with that.
Like, my husband better be in.
Somebody said PA.
Listen, he can be anywhere at this point, because the way God got me traveling, Lord, I don't know where my husband is.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna leave this session with that, and I'm gonna tell y'all like I said it, because Brenda said it, but somebody is waiting for you. So whatever you have to do, whether that is a transition from another state, whether that is a new job, whether that is putting yourself in different rooms that you may not normally put yourself in, there is somebody waiting for you. Mm-hmm. We'll see you next week. We out of here.